Hello and welcome to an exciting new episode of Talking About Stoicism. We're going over the Moral Letters by Lucius Annaeus Seneca, and it has been pointed out to me that I should not talk into the top of this microphone, but into the side. That is welcome feedback. I do not know much about microphones. I do know that this is a very imposing instrument, which is what she said. And so I'll try this. Let me know how this sounds, okay? We've landed in letter 70, and letter 70 is a long one, which is also, okay. This, I think, is an interesting letter, but it's Seneca kind of drones on and on, much like me. So I thought I'd only read you the first paragraph, and I will bend it a little bit to my needs. Okay. Letter 70. From Seneca to Lucilius, greetings. After a long interval, I have seen Pompeii, your hometown. This was before, It took me back within sight of my youth. I felt as if I could still do the things I did there as a young man, and in fact, as if it were only a short while since I did them. Lucilius, we have skirted the shores of life. When one is at sea, as our poet Virgil says, lands and cities drop away. And it is just the same with us on this voyage of speeding time. First we lose sight of our childhood, then of our youth, then of the entire interval between youth and age, and then of the best years of old age as well. Finally there comes into view that ending shared by the entire human race. We think it is a rock, but that's insane. It is the harbor. Sometimes we need to steer for it, but never away from it. One who has been carried there early in life should not complain any more than a sailor whose voyage has gone quickly. For as you know, one traveller is held back by lazy winds that play games with him and weary him with the boredom of a completely flat calm. Another is driven swiftly by an ungovernable gale. Imagine the same thing happening to us. Life rushes some people toward where we are all headed, no matter how we try to delay. Others it leaves to steep and simmer. Okay, so what I meant by kind of bending this letter to my purposes here is the following. Sorry, that was probably very loud. I was trying to cap this. This letter is about death. This letter is about the process of dying, and it features heavily in Seneca's work. He really embodies the memento mori, remember to die aspect of Stoic philosophy, of many different schools of philosophy who have all claimed something, or not claimed, but have all warned of something like that one way or another. Remember to die. You will at some point die, so don't forget about it. It's going to happen one day. Now, I think we have had a number of discussions about that topic, death and such, within Seneca's work. And I think that I'm a little done with that topic because we've discussed it so many times. So what I thought was, you can also interpret this another way. You can, and I'm really putting my own perspective on this. You could also look at this as the goals that you wish to achieve in life. And the goals you wish to achieve in life are also kind of like this sort of harbor somewhere on the horizon, somewhere you want to be, something you want to achieve, and you need to get there. And what I have certainly felt in the past was that it can be difficult to achieve the goals that you wish to achieve. And what I mean by that is this. See if this sounds familiar to you. I think it is easy for us to look at life, look at the things in life that we may want to achieve, and then say to ourselves, well, that person did this, he or she did that. It was all so much easier for him or her, for them. I have to struggle, and I'm not where I want to be, and they are, and everything is so much easier for them. I have certainly experienced those kinds of things in the past. I have certainly experienced looking at other people my age and thinking, let's summarize this, they're farther ahead in the game. They seem to have it all together and I don't. They have a house and they have all these things. And I was working on a PhD and that takes a long time and all that stuff. I've certainly also looked at other people working on PhDs and thinking they have it easy because their project is so much smoother than mine is. And I think that this is a very natural human thing to do. We quite easily compare ourselves to others, and we quite easily just do that. Compare ourselves to others and then feel dissatisfied with where we are compared to where they are. And I think it is a very common thought to think that other people have it easier than you, especially when things in life are not going exactly as planned. It's easy to think that way. They have it easier than I do. Why is my road so much rockier, or my sea so much more stormy, to more or less stick with Seneca's analogy? And sorry, I think that if you approach this from a Stoic perspective, which is what we're here for, I think there are a couple of things you can do. The first thing, and this would be hardcore Stoicism, that I don't know a lot of people this day and age would stick to, but if you were to ask an actual Stoic, like say Epictetus, what he would say in response to this feeling of, oh, but others have it easier than I do. Their road is so much smoother. It's much easier for them. I have it so hard all the time. I think Epictetus would say a couple of things from a very traditional, as he would be, Stoic viewpoint. He would probably say, well, first of all, there is the Logos. The universe is governed by this rational being or system, which you can also call God or Zeus or fate or providence, or the Logos in traditional Stoic terminology. And the Logos kind of knows what's best. The Logos governs all. So in other words, if the Logos places certain adversity on your path, that is because that is how it should be in the universe. And if that would not be happening, then things would not be as they are in the universe. Again, I think that a lot of people this day and age would struggle a bit with that idea of the whole universe is some sort of massive rational creature or system. But I think the basic tenet of that thinking, this is simply how the universe works, is not a bad thought to have. And it is certainly something that I have reminded myself of in the past. Yes, right now things may be relatively rough, but this is how it is. And right now this is how it has to be. I've had conversations in the past with a friend who felt that things were not as they should be. That things were harder than they would have to be when compared to the lives of other people. But as I said to the friend at that point, but now you're comparing your life to the lives of other people, and wanting to have someone else's life is pretty much as useful as saying, I would love to be a chicken, because you're not a chicken and you're not going to have someone else's life. That is their life. It is uniquely theirs. And your life is uniquely yours. It's not always easy, but that too, I think, is a way of thinking that can help. And I think that is in many ways a Stoic type of thinking. Again, the universe is the way it is. Right now, you experience what you experience. You cannot change those things unless you can. If you can change certain things, then you should change those things. And if you cannot change certain things, well, then you have to accept those things because you can't change them. And this, you know very well, is a central tenet in Stoicism. This is really a matter of, that is the basics of this school of thought. Some things are within your control, other things are not within your control, right? And I do think that is a vital way of looking at things. So, when you feel that you're at sea, that the harbor is very far away, that the sea is particularly choppy, that is a way of thinking that might help you. However, right now, this is how it is, and it can't be any other way. Not because the Logos has determined it to be this way, but simply because this is the state of the universe. And I'm not saying that that is easy, but I have found in my life that certainly makes it easier to process certain things. And to think, yeah, right now this is how it is. These are some of the things I can change right now. These are some of the things I cannot change right now. And overall, this is my state. So, there we are. Okay, that was letter 70. I hope this was useful and somewhat coherent. I'll gladly see you again next week for more talk about Stoicism. Bye!